Welcome to episode 244 of the Fabulously Keto Podcast. And this week's guest is someone very special, our very first child on the podcast. Faith Ann was at the PHC conference, not her first one, but she was there this time, where she stood up to ask a brilliant question to one of the speakers. Later, she went on to write and deliver a speech that truly impressed me. She stood on the stage, she spoke out clearly, she read what she'd written, and I remember thinking, what an amazing girl. I didn't waste any time. I went up to her straight afterwards and invited her to come on the podcast. Before we dive in, I do want to add a little request. For those of you that know Faith Ann, you probably saw her at the PHC conference if you were there, or maybe you know her from a previous appearance, and you probably know her mum. Please don't share anything about her or her family on social media. Let's keep this a safe space for her to share her story. I hope you enjoy this episode from a child's perspective of being sugar-free. Here's Faith Ann's bio. Hi, I'm Faith Ann. I've been sugar and wheat free since I was 4 years old. Before that, I only had tiny amounts. But when I started school, my parents noticed I was getting a lot more and they didn't feel okay with that. Since they don't eat sugar themselves, they decided to feed me only real food, the kind they eat too. Now I feel amazing. I can focus better at school. I don't get so fidgety and I have loads of energy for swimming, which I love. I'm making this podcast to help other kids and grown-ups learn what sugar really does to us and how much better we can feel without it. So let's go and hear from Faith Ann. Welcome, Faith Ann, to the Fabulously Keto Podcast. It's fabulous to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So we always start with, where in the world are you?
I'm in the West Midlands.
Perfect. Right in the middle of England, eh?
Mhm.
Yeah. So England's not very big for those people that are not in England or UK. But you're right, smack bang in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So the reason I asked you to come on the podcast was because I heard you speak at the public health collaboration and you read out something you'd written, which was absolutely amazing. And I thought we need to get you on to talk to all the younger people about low carb and looking after yourself and health and all things like that. So tell us a little bit about why you eat like you do, and maybe give us, I don't know, some examples of how you eat and what you do.
So how I eat is I have fruit and veg, and I try and have a lot of meat, but sometimes I can get a little bit peckish, but that is okay because yeah. So the reason I get a bit peckish is because when the fat it hardens.
Yeah.
I like the feel of it in my mouth, and some people feel like that, like it's the same with cream. I also I have to say no a lot to the cooks at school because they always say, "You sure you don't want to try just a little bit of jelly?" So I just have to say no.
You're very good.
I I eat kind of a lot of fat, but sometimes I'm not hungry, so yeah.
Yeah. So Faith Ann, tell us a little bit about why you're eating like this. Is it just because mum says you have to, or have you got your own reasons for doing it?
It's kind of because mummy tells me, but it's also because I know what it can do to me, and it's not the best at all. Because sometimes um when my mum did let me have sugar, she thought that it wouldn't get too bad, but then as when I went to school, almost every couple of days I was coming home with sweets because of people's birthdays. Because at school they hand out sweets for people's birthdays, so
It's a bit ridiculous,
they
isn't
were
it?
just getting quite out of hand.
Yeah.
And my mum thought that this just needs to stop. And because I've listened to some of the talks, I've heard what it could do to you. And I don't really want that to happen to me.
Yeah, lovely. So you're quite young. Do you want to tell people how old you are?
9.
You're 9
Mhm.
and you're very astute. Do you know what that means? You're very clever.
Yeah.
So you're still in primary school, I guess.
Yeah.
And like you said, lots of people have we all have birthdays, but
Yeah.
when you're at school, there seems to be lots of birthdays all throughout the month.
Yeah, because it's like there's some months where there's no birthdays, but there's some months where there's loads of birthdays in big groups. So then in that month I come home with lots of sweets, and then the next month I don't.
Yeah.
And then it almost goes in a cycle.
So when Mum said, right, no more sugar, um, how did you feel about that?
I felt confused because I didn't know how she actually meant. Like, I didn't know if she meant stop sugar completely. So the next day I went to my friend's house and he asked me, "Do you want a Skittle or an M&M?" And I said to him, "I'm sure my mum wouldn't mind a little." So I had a few, and that little bit ended up getting a lot. So I didn't know what she meant fully. So I felt quite confused.
Right. So how do you understand not having sugar now?
I understand what it does to me, so I understand that I just need to stop.
What
And
what have you noticed about you when you have sugar?
I noticed that I think I get a bit more hyper.
Yeah.
I I think at night maybe I kind of get like really tired and short tempered because I know that's what sugar does do to you because you get that big hit of sugar,
Yeah.
big rush of energy, and then you just go like that, and
Rash.
you get very short tempered.
Yeah. Angry, they say, don't they?
Yeah,
So if I mean probably the people listening to this podcast today, we might get some younger people listening themselves, but there'll probably be lots of mums who've got children your age, maybe even younger. Would you say that you feel better when you don't have sugar?
yeah. I feel a lot more. I feel um. I feel as energetic as normally people do, not very rushy, energetic.
Yeah.
Um, and I become stronger. I notice that, and it also helps with the swimming. I do it about, let's say, 1 or 2 times a day. And then so I also notice that I get tired when I'm sitting down, but I don't get tired as quick when I'm running around. So usually it's the other way around almost.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention that, that's quite interesting because one, I don't sit down a lot and I don't not do anything a lot. So I find I'm always fine. But actually, if I sit down quietly, I quite often will doze off and just sort of my eyes go and I fall asleep. Do you notice that when you just stop
No,
doing
it's just
stuff?
because in assembly at school it gets really boring sometimes, and what because I sit down a lot in school, but that's why they have playtime. So because I sit down a lot at school, my back always hurts after. Like it did a lot in assembly today when I stood up. About 3 or 4 of my friends were like, "Oh, my back really hurts as soon as I stood up."
Yeah, I can imagine that. Are you sitting on the floor?
Yeah, we're sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
And at school, we're sitting on chairs, but we sit down for such a long time that it just gets too much for our backs
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's a
Or we,
shame they don't get you to get up. You know, like when we were at the conference, every now and then Sam would make us get up and shake our bodies out and do stuff.
yeah,
They teachers should do that, don't you think?
sometimes they do, but our teacher doesn't do that. But different teachers, they do that.
Cool. So, can we go back to what you eat.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have breakfast?
Yes, I do.
What's a breakfast? What would you normally have for breakfast?
Um, I think his name is John, but I have his cereal, the granola one, grain
Okay.
free, and I have that with milk. Um, I have toast and eggs sometimes. I sometimes have pancakes, but the pancakes is homemade, made with no sugar, no syrup, and I made it with almond flour, um, eggs, and some other things. And sometimes this is quite rarely, but I have porridge. It's
Yeah,
as well.
cool. Do you have something between breakfast and lunch? Do you eat between breakfast and lunch, or do you find that you have enough to eat to get you through to lunchtime?
And most of the time I have fruit because I'm still hungry sometimes. And I have the fruit from the year one or year two's basket because I'm not allowed the toast that every single class has, because every single class has a tray of toast every morning. At break, they all have some toast. And sometimes once somebody had up to about 3 or 4 pieces of toast when you're only allowed up to two.
Yeah, well, I can imagine that because people are normal people who don't eat like we do. They probably are really hungry at that point.
Yeah, because um the only reason you the only reason everybody was mad is because then some other people couldn't get any.
Yeah, I get that.
But the only thing is, I usually don't go without because the fruit baskets are really big. So it's
Lucky
basically a
you.
win-win.
Yeah. When I was your age, we used to have to drink milk, which is a good thing, I guess, nowadays for us, except it was warm and I couldn't stand warm milk.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it wasn't heated, it was just wasn't cold. It'd been
I don't like warm milk. I like cold milk the best.
Yeah, me too. And so then lunch, do you take your own packed lunch?
No, not that much. I have school dinners, but it's really hard every single lunchtime because since I'm not allowed wheat and I'm not allowed sugar, they kind of push me a bit. Like they say, go on, just have a little bit of jelly. I'm like, no, I'm not allowed the jam or the yogurt on the jelly. And I don't even know why they would have like yogurt on jelly, but they do that mix and then I say I don't like the yogurt. So then they said, do you want one without the yogurt? And I say, no, I'm not allowed the jelly. And then they just keep pushing and they just get so annoying.
Have you got a little trick to stop them asking you stuff or not yet? You haven't found anything?
I just have to keep saying no. I haven't found a proper trick yet. I just
Mm.
keep saying no. And it's also really hard because sometimes I just have to go with the jacket potato, cheese and beans a lot because have um I can't have the stuff there because there's sometimes lasagna
Yeah.
or pasta. And they used to have pizza or fish fingers, which was better because I could go with the fish fingers, which was better than the pizza because the pizza gave me a tummy ache. So then now they've changed it to either wheat or wheat. It's basically pizza or pasta.
Uh,
And then I just have to go with a jacket potato, cheese, and beans. And I don't know why they couldn't have just listened to me because they said that my mum had to bring in a letter to say that I couldn't have it or an email. And I don't know why they couldn't have just listened to me.
no, I think grown-ups in general think that children don't know stuff and
Yeah,
they don't believe. I don't know if they don't believe them or they don't think that they're big enough to answer for themselves. What do you think?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. But you sound like you know what you're talking about.
I do.
And
But
if
they don't
it,
know that because they haven't been to the PHC conferences yet.
no. So when you went to the PHC conference, you've been to a few, haven't you?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. So when you went the last time when we were there in May, What?
Is that the one that I talked at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that one.
So for those listening, Faith Ann wrote something and read it out from the stage, which was absolutely amazing. And now you don't know where you wrote it
I
down.
don't know where I put it, and I had to write it 3 times as well.
Do you
One
remember any of it? Do you remember anything about what you
Yes,
wrote?
I do remember a bit. I remember me saying that I'm gonna make that chewing gum and bubble gum is one of the worst, and then I talked about Lucozade, which they put next to a famous football player just to make people think, oh, I want to be like him. So if he drinks that, I should drink it because I want to be like him.
Yeah.
But I liked one of the videos that my mum told me about where I think it was a football player, but they put a can of Coke in front of him and he just took it down, put it on the floor and replaced it with a bottle of water.
Ah, nice.
That's
I was
what
going to ask you, do you think the like the football players and the famous people with their Lucozade in front of them, do you think they really drink them?
I actually kind of think they do because sometimes they might, but I think to get all of that energy, they do actually eat properly, but they make people think that they drink it when they actually don't a lot.
Yeah, I suspect that too. They're just getting paid to advertise it.
And just to pretend they drink it.
Yeah. So when we were at the conference, what was your favorite speaker, or what was the favorite topic? I know you were in and out a lot,
Yeah, I
running
was.
up and down the stairs. I saw you.
Yeah, I remember just going out in and outdoors, just
Yeah.
wandering around. Um, I got quite a few. Yeah.
Okay, go on, tell
So,
us some.
um, the one where they talked about cancer,
Yeah.
the one that I also found a little interesting is the one where the man. I'm not sure if this was the same speaker, but it's where the man had heart disease. I found that story quite interesting. And the last one, my total favorite speaker was my mum.
Oh, of course. Of course. She was the best.
But I also really like my speech as well.
Yeah. I think that would rate your speech, I think would rate quite high on my list. I liked the cancer ones as well. Um, yeah. I think I put you above your mum. Don't tell her. So, Faith Ann, what do we need to tell the listeners today? What else do we need to tell them
I
about?
think
Oh, wait, go back. So we've got your breakfast, we've got your snack, we've got how the school is not really catering to you for lunches.
yeah.
Then what do you eat? Do you eat something after school or still in school again later in the afternoon?
I don't eat anything after lunch because you're not really allowed to do that. Like you're not allowed to eat it after. But for pudding, I usually have fruit. And I don't eat anything at school after lunch, so I come home and sometimes if dinner's going to be a while, I have a snack.
What would that be?
Um,
Just tell us one or two things that you might have.
Sometimes I have some hula hoops or maybe some fruit,
Okay.
like some from the garden.
And then supper?
For supper, I really like having steak. It's one of my favorite foods, or chicken wings, them too. Chicken wings is my favorite out of all of them, especially the way we put all the spices on. Like we put all of the ingredients on. We put like salt and pepper, and we make them crispy so you can actually eat the bone. So
Oh, nice.
I sometimes have chicken wings
Is
or
that in an air fryer or in the oven?
air fryer,
Yeah. Okay.
and sometimes if I'm with my granddad, I sometimes have popcorn chicken and chicken strips, or um, The other day, I had some lamb with sprouts, cauliflower, carrots, and some mash. That's what I
No.
had the other day.
Lamb's my absolute favourite dinner.
I love lamb, especially the way my granddad put the spices on it.
Nice.
It's now one of my favorite foods.
So what happens when you go to parties and things like that? Just I'm assuming you still get invited to parties.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. I'm one of the popular kids at school, so I get invited to quite a lot. Um, so at birthday parties, I usually either get like instead of cake, and I see everybody having cake, I feel a little jealous sometimes that I don't get to have that. But I either have like fruit winders or some fruit. A lot of people just give me fruit instead, and I don't know why they could just give me a carrot or something, or maybe a piece of meat. I don't know why it has to be fruit, but I do like fruit, so I'm
I
not going to
think
complain.
I think it's that the way we've been taught that fruit is healthy.
Yeah, like it's one of your 5 a day.
Yeah. What do you think about that 5 a day stuff?
I don't agree at all because um about the 5 a day, they put the fruit into other stuff and write on the packet it's one of your 5 a day when actually it's full of sugar. Like my friend has these sorts of yo-yos where they don't even look like the proper bare fruit winders because those are like proper that it says like it's like 100% fruit, and my friend has these that don't even look like it and they look like a sweet.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd looked, it says on it one of your 5 a day, even though it's got sugar in.
Yeah, I'm
It's just
sure.
not it's not good.
Yeah. So have you got any of your friends to change what the way they're eating? Do you think anyone's copying you, or do you think you're still on your own?
I'm still on my own kind of because my friend says, "Oh no, I don't eat a lot of sugar." When every single time he hands out sweets for his birthday, he gets sweets from other people's birthday and says, "No, I'm not having any today." He doesn't say that. So that's not really true. And I know somebody who I wasn't expecting, but he actually just said to his mum, "Mum, I don't want to have any sugar anymore." And he didn't even know that I didn't eat sugar. So he didn't copy me. He just said to his mum, "I'm not having any sugar anymore," which I felt quite shocked about when I heard about it.
And is he still not having sugar? Do you know?
I don't know. He's not in the school anymore. He moved to secondary school,
Ah,
but I expect he isn't. Maybe.
yeah. We need to get more kids not eating sugar, I think.
Yeah, almost everybody in the class has sugar.
I
Actually,
think,
everybody in the class does have sugar.
yeah, probably including the
Yeah.
teachers.
Oh yeah. Um, Sometimes even people hand out chocolates to the teachers. So definitely the teachers.
Yeah. It's a hard job we've got, isn't it?
Mm.
Getting people to eat well.
Because I feel like I can't even tell people anymore because like what happens because when they ask, "But what happened?" I'm like, "I'm not saying because last time you got scared." Because sometimes once I did say too much and they got scared and then they told their parents and then yeah, so now I just don't say anything.
I know. I don't say a lot either. I've got friends and they'll talk about they've got this illness and that illness and this hurts them and that hurts them because they're a lot older than you.
Mhm.
Um, but I just don't say anything anymore. It's like, well, I know that they could change what they're eating and feel better, but
Because because my mum's had this experience that she's talked to some people, but they haven't listened, so she just lets them come to them instead.
yeah,
Which I
exactly.
think is a good idea instead of going to them because they might not want the help.
Exactly.
Because you can't change somebody else. You can only they can only change if they want to change. You shouldn't force somebody else to.
That's it. And I think you're doing exactly what many of us want to do, which is just lead by example. Do you just do your thing and they can follow if they want to, and they
It's
can ask you if they want to.
it's only a bit hard sometimes when my friends tease me about it.
Oh, what do they do? What do they say?
Well, once when I was having some lentils, this was a while ago, it's like in year two, but my two best friends, they were pretending to throw up in the line. They were going like that.
Ah,
Yeah, but I kind of got over that now. But then the other thing is, this is where I had to use my mum voice. But um, so my friend asked me, why have you got that instead of sweets? And I said, I've got it because I'm not allowed sugar, so my friend gave me this instead. And then guess what he did with the lollipop?
yeah, put it under your nose. Nice.
Or right in my face.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the best thing to do, especially because sometimes when I do have like this drink called 7 Up, when once I had to have the sugary version because um I nearly had heat stroke because on the day I'd forgotten to drink, so I had to have the sugary version. And when I did, I even went up to my mum and said, "Could you wash this, please? I'm gonna end up licking it clean." So yeah, but then my mum told me that I need to go wash her up because she knows that I'm strong and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what about when they wave those sweets under your nose or in your face? Could you say, if I get sugar near my face, it makes me sick all over the person in front of me?
Well, that wouldn't really work because I've already told them I'm not allergic to sugar. Because everybody always says, "Are you allergic to sugar?" And I'm like, "No." And when I say to the cooks, when they ask me, "Am I allergic to sugar?" or "Am I allergic to wheat?" I say no. So then they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
And I say, all it does it hurts my tummy, and they still don't take it seriously.
Mm. Do
But
you
then
notice that it does hurt your tummy?
it does. I start pooing more,
Yeah.
and I get a tummy ache. But sometimes it's not the cook. Sometimes I do have it because sometimes I just can't hold it in and I just have it, which isn't the best. But I've learned how to control it a bit more better now. Like I
Yeah.
don't have pizza.
Yeah.
And what
And
doesn't help is because they have the bread on display, and you just take it. And when it's right next to me, I'm like,
yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I really struggle with bread. If it's a nice bread, if it's not nice. So when before I used to eat low carb, if there was bread, you go to a restaurant and they give you the bread, I'd always eat it. I always ate it.
yeah.
And nowadays, if it doesn't look very nice, I don't bother. So I'm more fussy about what I will eat if it's not
The
nice.
only thing is, I know how it tastes still, and then it just I want it more and more and more. And I just, oh, but I really like the taste. Just want a little bit, please. No,
Faith Ann, do you do things like after school clubs and things like that?
yeah,
Do they eat there?
yes, they do.
What's that like when you're, because these
Um,
are these your teachers or not teachers? They're different people.
they're like some of them are the cooks. This was a while ago when the cooks run it, but now they don't, and it's the teachers. But yeah, they do have snacks, and they're not the best snacks in the world at all.
So give us an example of what they might offer you.
So once I asked a teacher, is there any sugar in I think it was cornflakes. Yeah, it was cornflakes. And they said, no, there's no sugar in cornflakes. So I ate the cornflakes. Then I went home and told my mum that there was actually no sugar in cornflakes because of course when kids hear that there's something about adults and they've told them that yeah, you can have it, there's nothing in this. And of course the kids are going to believe them, so I believed them.
Yeah.
So I ate it. And what I had wished that I had said instead is, does this have any sugar in because I'm allergic to sugar? Because then they would have actually taken it seriously and wouldn't have lied to me. because then my mum told me the truth that there is sugar in cornflakes. So she had to text them, and then I think a while later, that cook actually left the school. I'm
Right.
not sure if it was for that reason, but yeah, they're not in the school anymore. And yeah, they offer you cornflakes. They're like, these sorts of Weetabix things with jam inside them. I think they're Weetabix.
Right.
They have that, but in chocolate form.
Yeah.
And they have the Weetabix. They have, I
I
don't know what it is, but they've got loads of cereals. They've got toast in the mornings. They've even got Marmite to put on the toast. They've got like spreads. It's not good at all.
know. Do you think that that teacher that or the cook that said yes, there's sugar in the cornflakes? Do you think, and this I know it's just your opinion, do you think she really didn't know, or do you think she was just trying to get you to eat some cornflakes? What do you think?
Don't actually know on that one because I'm not actually sure. But if I would say, I guess I think she kind of did know because she's a cook. She would know the ingredients.
Yeah, see, now I think she probably didn't know.
Really?
She probably, I just think so many people don't realize how much sugar is in how much food stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
because,
she didn't know. But sorry, maybe she did know, but she only thought there was a little bit so it wouldn't hurt me.
yeah, maybe.
But she didn't actually know that there is loads and loads and loads of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that I think they actually let us have jammy Dodgers when the teacher even showed us how much sugar was in it. Because once the teacher showed us how much sugar is in a jammy Dodger, I think he said about 6 teaspoons of sugar. I don't know, something like that. And then a bit later, they gave us jammy Dodgers, which was just confusing.
Yeah. Yes, I totally agree. And do you know something? I'm going to tell you something. And do you go to McDonald's or anything like that?
I have before, but
You don't go all the time, though.
question first.
So, well, this is not a question. It was just an observation. So, my kids, when they were little, had never been to McDonald's. The only time we went to McDonald's was if we needed the toilet and we were going to use the toilet, but they'd never eaten any. They knew I thought it was not good for you and all things like that. And I was really surprised that they went on a school trip. It was only not far up the road to a gardening centre, and then they took them to McDonald's. Can you believe the school taking kids to McDonald's?
My gosh. Not
Yeah.
even our school's done that.
They'd never really been to McDonald's before. So, yeah.
Well, when I go to McDonald's, all I have is the chips, and sometimes I don't even finish the chips, but most of the time I do.
Yeah.
And then with the burger, I don't actually have the bun. I just have the burger and the cheese, and that's it.
Yeah.
And we just say without the bun.
I tell you what, Julian, that's my husband. What he said, he used to say to Ben and Alex when they're little, he used to say, if you're naughty, I'm going to take you to McDonald's. And they'd go, no, 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 no. And they'd behave.
Hmm.
That's how we thought about McDonald's in our house. So, have you got a message that you'd like to give to any children listening or any parents of young children or maybe even grandparents who've got young children?
Um, yeah, I think don't be afraid to tell your child what's in there. And I know this is being said by a kid, but still, I think as you've seen this, you might have pictured that not all kids don't know everything, that some of them do know quite a lot.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to stop your kids from having sugar, even if it does mean they're going to have a humongous meltdown. Don't be afraid. I think you just need to send them to their room for a bit just to calm down. And
Did you
then,
have a huge meltdown?
no, I actually didn't. I just took it calmly, and then because I didn't actually know what my mum meant, and even when she did tell me, I didn't have a huge meltdown.
Yeah.
I
You
think
probably already not had a lot at home. Would you say you didn't have a lot of sugar at home anyway at that point?
no, but I suppose I'd be having sugar on the way home because I'd be saying to my mum, "Oh, can I have this sweet from?" And then my friend, and then can I have that on the way home? And then I'd probably finish it by the time I got home.
Yeah. So, Faith Ann, when we were at the PHC conference, there was a bit about the Real Food Rebellion, and that is a program that they've created for school children to introduce all these ideas that you already know about in schools. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think that's actually a really good idea because let's say like Liberate, um, and some of the other stands, like Good Fats, all of them, they're a lot for adults as well.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a really clever idea to do a lot some for children as well, because I know it's good to be helping adults through all of this, but it's also good to be letting children know as well and not just the adults. So I think it's a very good idea.
So is there something you could do to help them? Can you get involved in helping them?
I think that I can definitely be like a cartoon character and be the voice of it.
Oh, wow. That would be exciting, wouldn't it?
Hmm.
And one of the things I was thinking about is you're saying don't give sugar to your kids. What do you think about I'm just thinking, do you think the people listening would probably not eat sugar themselves? What were your mum and dad doing about sugar at that time when
They
they
weren't
stopped you?
they weren't eating it as well, so they were thinking why were they letting it in my body? And I was just and I'm not sure if the parents would be eating it. I think they would be though, because they're thinking, now, is it for a child's view? So maybe they're not eating it, but they don't know how it would look from a child's view and see if they would want that for their child.
Yeah. I think probably there's lots of parents listening, or maybe even grandparents, that don't want their children eating sugar, but they don't know how to, because, like you said, it's everywhere. Everybody's always eating
Yeah.
sugar. It's really hard. They probably just don't know how to do it. Have you got any tips for them?
Yeah, I think um this is one for the kids or one for the adults that they can tell their kids. Don't let people, let's say in secondary school and primary school, in secondary school, don't let people um make you think, yes, I'll do vaping. I'll eat loads of sugar in primary school and secondary school. Don't let them get you into thinking that. Do
Hmm.
what feels best for you.
Yeah. So for the listeners, I'm not giving out Faith Ann's social media. I don't even know if she's got social media. I'm not giving out any details about Faith Ann. If you feel that you want to contact her, then you can email me, or you can go onto the Fabulously Keto website and go to contact us, and then you can fill out the form there. You can send it to me and I will forward it to Faith Ann's mum. And Faith Ann, when we get to now, we're at the end of the podcast. I'm going to ask you for your three top tips. So off you go.
Um, so the first top tip for the parents to pass on to the children: don't let other people get you into thinking, oh, just just vape it. I'm cool, so if you want to be like me, you should vape. You should eat sugar. So don't let people get you into doing that.
Do you think?
Second thing for the parents,
Do you
don't be a
think? Do you
oh,
think children know that vaping stuff has sugar in it? Do you think people know that?
I don't think that.
No, did you know that?
I don't think kids do.
No, did you know that?
I think I did.
Okay, go on.
I
So
think I
that's your
did.
first
I'm
top
not
tip.
sure. Can't really remember. Second top tip is don't be a cog in a machine. Just because you know that they're gonna get it everywhere, don't be a part of that, and don't buy it for them if you know they're gonna get it already. Don't be a part of it.
So do you think that's
And
for the
the third
parents?
one is don't,
Do you think that's for the
yeah, definitely
parents?
for the
Don't be a
parents.
cog. Don't be a cog in the. Yeah, that makes sense that they shouldn't
The
spend the money.
the third top, the third top tip is probably don't oh and with the adverts, they just because they put the drink Lucasade in front of a famous football player, and maybe you think, oh, I want to be like him, so I should drink it, or a can of Coke. Don't think that, because sometimes they don't actually drink it.
Yeah, be
So
aware that it's
yeah,
just an advert. Do you look at ingredients on products if they're in the shops?
yeah. And since I look at it so much, sometimes I just do it for fun, because I know that I just do it a lot. I just do it for fun sometimes.
So what would you
Yeah,
say
that
about what would you say to other children listening or parents about looking on the labels and
I remember my fourth top tip now. Um, Look at the first 3 ingredients or first 5 ingredients on a packet.
yeah,
If one of them's a product of sugar, don't buy it. It's not the best thing, because if it's either says glucose syrup or sugar or sweeteners, it's not the best thing in the world. So I suggest don't buy it. That's my full top.
I like that. Very good. Thank you so much for being with me today.
You're welcome.
Wasn't that wonderful? I think Faith Ann has shown us all that age doesn't matter when it comes to making powerful choices for your health. She has a fabulous knowledge at such a young age, and I hope she goes on to help her peers make better choices when it comes to food. I'm so grateful she came on to share her experience with us. If this episode has inspired you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend or a family member, especially if they have children who could benefit from hearing a story like this. As always, thank you for listening. Disclaimer. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Our guests, whether healthcare professionals or not, are sharing their personal opinions and experiences. This does not establish a doctor-patient relationship. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your medications, treatment or lifestyle, particularly if you're on medication or have concerns about your health.